is aluminum. Aluminum for our industries and aluminum for our homes. Aluminum for building, for transportation, for communication, for agriculture, and for national defense. What is it that has made aluminum, one of the youngest members in the family of metals, such an outstanding material? The answer lies in its amazing versatility and unusual combination of properties. Its smart, modern appearance in a variety of natural or colored finishes. Its great strength combined with extreme lightweight, an outstanding advantage in almost every metal application. Its high electrical conductivity, with aluminum leading all other metals in a pound-for-pound comparison. Its immunity to all kinds of weather without rust or corrosion. Its superior light and heat reflectivity, for aluminum brilliantly outshines all other uncoated metals. Aluminum excels most other metals in its ability to conduct heat quickly and evenly. Amazing things about this most remarkable metal is its tremendous abundance as a raw material. In America, the richest of these commercial-grade aluminum deposits are located in the central region of Arkansas. Although traces of aluminum may be found in almost any soil, only those clays containing 50 or 60% aluminum ore and known as bauxite are mined for commercial production. And here, one of the foremost producers of aluminum derives much of its ore for the reduction plants. In order to ensure a constant and uninterrupted supply of this raw material, Reynolds, some years ago, pioneered the development of extensive aluminum ore deposits in Haiti and Jamaica. These deposits, along with mining operations in British Guiana, constitute the world's largest known aluminum ore reserves, representing a vital backlog of strategic material for consumer goods and defense production. On the island of Jamaica alone, more than 50,000 acres are owned by Reynolds for the mining of aluminum ore. As the bauxite deposits are mined out, Reynolds resoils and restores the pits to crop, grazing, or forest land for the Jamaicans' use. Mining of aluminum ore in Jamaica is primarily a huge earth-moving operation, and for the islanders, the mines have meant new jobs and a sounder economy. After leaving the mines, the aluminum ore travels on a breathtaking journey over 6 miles of aerial tramway to the sea. At Ochos Rios Bay, the bauxite ore is loaded aboard a modern ore carrier for its trip to the mainland, where the next phase of its transformation to metal begins. Among this maze of giant digesters, settlers, and washers, all the skill and ingenuity of modern chemical engineering combine to provide the first step in unlocking aluminum from the earth. The chemical process reaches its climax in these huge tanks, where alumina is precipitated out of the ore in caustic solution. Later, the water content is driven off by baking in giant rotary kilns, resulting in this pure snow-white powder known as alumina. An ever-increasing amount of this alumina is being used in chemical processing, in soil conditioners, in abrasives, and many other applications. In order to reduce the alumina to solid aluminum, it is transferred to one of a number of reduction plants and converted to metallic form in giant electrolytic cells. These plants consume electrical power in tremendous quantities, enough to supply the daily needs of 1 million people. About 1/3 of the required electricity is generated at Reynolds plants, and the rest is purchased from outside sources. Over 20,000 kilowatt hours of electricity will pass through the cell to produce 1 ton of aluminum. Modern operation, some of the molten aluminum is transferred directly to a customer's adjacent foundry, where it is poured hot into the customer's holding furnace before casting. Back at the Reynolds plant, as the molten metal is cast, aluminum begins to take recognizable shape and form. The pigs are alloyed with small amounts of other metals to give them the right combination of properties. From the alloying furnace, aluminum now marches forth in the shape of ingots, blooms, and billets, each destined for a specific fabricating sequence. 6,000-pound ingots into aluminum sheet requires giant machinery, plus great technical skill and experience. Sheet is ready for shipment to thousands of fabricators who will reshape it into 100,000 useful things, from washing machines to airplane wings. The fabricating service, as its name implies, is a service to manufacturers, providing them with a great variety of blanked, formed, and precision finished parts ready for assembly. Is found the most modern equipment. Many costly but necessary facilities, often beyond the reach of the average fabricator, are made available through this service. including press equipment capable of handling the largest aluminum draws ever made, plus a workforce of skilled specialists with long experience in high-speed precision fabrication. With imagination and daring, the fabricating service tackles the most difficult production assignments, such as this patented tubed sheet, a solid aluminum sheet with self-contained passages for liquid or gas. The tubed sheet is now in common use, as in this refrigeration unit, and has unlimited possibilities in all types of heat transfer applications. Still another contribution of the fabricating service are the all-aluminum truck and body parts assembled for the leading truck and trailer companies. Because aluminum will not rust, these parts will not need painting, and neither will these aluminum gutters and downspouts. Aluminum buildings are easily constructed, requiring a minimum amount of maintenance and upkeep. Self-insulating against both heat and cold, aluminum sheet provides greater protection for every type of outdoor use, from industrial buildings, large and small, to the most modern residence. Lightweight, strength, and the versatility of aluminum make possible higher payloads in all commercial vehicles, from highway trailers to modern smart-looking delivery trucks. Aluminum adds beauty and flexibility of design to lightweight highway homes and ultra-modern buses. In national defense, as in many other fields, aluminum is everywhere. In the air, on the ground, and on the sea, versatile aluminum serves our fighting men. In today's architecture, aluminum has become synonymous with modern design, not only in new buildings, but to facelift dingy old exteriors and transform them into colorful new fronts in tune with the times. The use of aluminum is equally effective inside as well as out. From table lamp to acoustical ceiling, aluminum contributes that decorative modern touch to office and home. Because aluminum reflects up to 95% of all radiant heat and effectively stops moisture, it finds extensive use in all types of insulation. These same reflective qualities add extra efficiency to aluminum heating and air conditioning ducts. In the field of home appliances, for decorative as well as functional uses, aluminum has no equal. Rust-proof and corrosion-resistant, it helps keep cleaning and maintenance at a minimum. Add the advantages of low cost, lightweight, workability, and multicolored beauty, and it's easy to see why more and more aluminum is being designed into every type of modern appliance. And to help manufacturers achieve the highest quality aluminum products, the Reynolds Metals Company maintains a full-time aluminum styling and design section. Aluminum foil, which is merely sheet aluminum rolled extremely thin, is welcomed in the American home in ever-growing quantities as a convenience of 1,001 practical uses. For even the thinnest aluminum retains all the advantages of this amazing metal. It conducts cold to speed up freezing and distributes heat evenly while cooking. And whether in the refrigerator, in the oven, or on the barbecue grill, aluminum foil keeps foods from drying out while sealing in all their natural flavor. may be produced hard or soft, finished bright or dull, and cut into strips fine enough to make non-tarnishing aluminum yarn, which adds sparkle, luster, the gleam of glamour to Milady's gowns, the fabrics in her home, and the upholstery of the latest automobiles. Versatile aluminum foil, when used for packaging or advertising, may be laminated to paper or cardboard and printed on high-speed presses in as many as 7 colors, adding great eye appeal to packages and reader interest to national advertising. Customer after customer is drawn by the bright, shiny colors and the reflective beauty of aluminum foil announcing the product. And aside from beauty, aluminum foil serves the public in many other ways. On the store shelves all over America, Reynolds foil packaging and labels possess unequaled selling and protection magic. It keeps things like tobacco or chewing gum moist and dehydrated soups dry. It preserves the crispness of potato chips and the softness of prunes. It seals flavor in and keeps harmful light rays out. It provides extra convenience in the form of one-way containers which can be used right in the oven, such as delicious ready-mixed cakes, ready-to-serve frozen pies, and complete dinners, which only need heating and are ready to serve. All made possible with lightweight, heat-conducting aluminum containers. Only foil offers so much beauty and merchandising value. Foil offers such perfect product protection. To pass on the extensive knowledge gained through its long experience in working with foil, Reynolds maintains a full-time staff of packaging design experts. In powdered form, aluminum provides the kick for our 4th of July fireworks and also adds extra power to military and commercial explosives. In this form, another unusual property of aluminum appears. Suspended in a paint vehicle, the powdered particles float to the surface and form a continuous layer of aluminum over the area being covered. This aluminum shield provides protection from weather and reflects light and heat almost as effectively as a solid sheet of aluminum. Another wide use of aluminum pigments is in the unusual metallic effects obtained in today's modern polychromatic finishes. The parade of billets and blooms continues uninterrupted to still another conversion mill. Extrusion is accomplished by slowly squeezing the heated billet under thousands of tons of pressure out through a die opening. variety of designs and patterns which can be extruded are practically unlimited, restricted only by the skill of the designer and the requirements of the end product. Extruded bridge railings and light standards need no painting or costly repairs. And aluminum is light enough to make possible an oil drilling rig which can travel on the highways and set up ready for drilling in a matter of hours. High-strength, lightweight aluminum pipe, the perfect answer to many irrigation problems. Many of the shapes in the do-it-yourself rack are extruded sections, from which a tremendous variety of useful items can be assembled with ordinary household tools. Aluminum extrusions, because of their versatility and ease of fabrication, have opened countless new possibilities for light metal application. To help manufacturers take full advantage of aluminum's amazing properties, the Reynolds Engineering Service, along with the styling and design section, provides customers with better and newer ways of using aluminum, thus helping to solve many difficult fabrication problems. Aluminum now reaches the processing stage at the rod and bar mill. Aluminum bars are fed through smaller and smaller roller openings until small enough to be used for forging stock and screw machine products. The smaller aluminum rod is again reduced in dimension and then pulled at high speeds through a series of dies to produce aluminum wire of all sizes. Some of this wire is used in the production of screens, nails, rivets, and machine bolts. These intricate machines wind still more of it into heavy-duty transmission cable. Aluminum's high electrical conductivity, combined with its light weight, results in longer spans with lower power loss than any other metal. So convincing are the advantages of aluminum cable that it's used in the majority of modern high-voltage systems throughout the world. These same advantages serve to reduce weight and lower costs in thousands of applications for low-voltage distributing systems and other electrical uses. In the auto industry, other metals are giving way to aluminum. In mechanical units and parts, as new decorative styling features in gold anodized aluminum. With aluminum's light weight, resistance to corrosion, and many color anodizing possibilities, decorative and functional trim of today's cars is being supplied in ever-increasing quantities by bright, colorful aluminum. Aluminum window treatments and color anodized wheel covers and grills, interior and exterior trim. These are only a few of the many automobile parts now being designed in aluminum. And in the production of mechanical parts of all kinds, pistons, torque converters, transmission housings, and other mechanical parts, aluminum has become the standard of the industry. Today, aluminum provides us with better and safer transportation in the air, on the seas, and on the land. In transportation, as in every field of industry, aluminum contributes to our continued progress. In the form of pig and ingot, sheet, rod, and extrusion, foil, building products, industrial shapes, and parts for home appliances, aluminum flows in an uninterrupted stream. Aluminum is transformed into 100,000 useful things, from the most delicate and decorative to the most formidable and functional, like these gleaming highway giants. From convenient kitchen containers to home insulation, refrigerators, and farm buildings. automobile parts, and Reynolds Wrap, building materials, and home appliances, outdoor furniture, and magazine advertising, high-fashion dresses, and engine components, electrical cable and packaging material, bridge railings, irrigation pipe, and an endless variety of do-it-yourself material. Only a few of the things in the almost endless procession that makes up Aluminum on the March. And this never-ending march of aluminum continues, an ever-growing parade, supplying the thousands of parts which form the products of today and the better products of tomorrow.
Lucky Strike, first again with Tobacco Men. First again with Tobacco Men.
LSMFT, LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Yes, in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
So for your own real deep down smoking enjoyment, smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike.
Places all join hands, circle left. Now circle right and listen to me. LSMFT. Alimentary corners like swinging on a gauge. A right to your honey with a right and left date. Grand right and left around you go. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Meet your honey and give her a whirl. All swing around with the little girls. Smoke 'em, then you'll see. LSMFT. Promenade and don't you fall. Promenade around the hall. Lucky Strike is first again with Tobacco Men. Promenade straight down the pike. It's time right now for a Lucky Strike. Yes, for smoking that you're bound to like, you just can't beat a Lucky Strike.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Yes, once every 6 seconds, day and night, weekdays and holidays, another automobile accident adds to the toll of death, injury, and property damage. This tragedy and waste can become even more terrible unless we learn that accidents can be prevented and determine that they shall be. In general, accidents don't just happen. They are caused. Among the principal causes are carelessness, impatience, inattention, recklessness, act or loss of the basic driving skills. No one can become a really safe driver. He rids himself of these fundamental faults until he stops taking an occasional chance and until he comes to know his limitations as a driver. The good driver, for example, knows that no one can stop on a dime like this. No matter how serious the emergency, even an experienced driver takes a certain amount of time after he perceives danger before he can begin to apply the brakes. The distance which the car travels in this interval, 5/8 of a second for the average driver, is known as reaction distance and is indicated by the yellow strip. Since even locked wheels cannot arrest a car's forward motion immediately, braking distance, shown by the red strip, must be added to reaction distance, total stopping distance. At 25 miles per hour under ideal conditions and for an average driver, the reaction and braking distances are 22 feet and 28 feet respectively, which means that the car will travel a total of 50 feet before it can be brought to a complete stop. At twice this speed, or 50 miles per hour, the reaction distance for an average driver is 45 feet, and the braking distance is 119 feet. The total stopping distance, therefore, is 164 feet, over 3 times as great as at 25 miles per hour. Be a good driver. Learn your stopping distances and never drive so fast that you can't stop within the assured, clear distance ahead. All too many drivers ignore this simple rule, especially when in traffic. In fact, one of the greatest causes of automobile accidents is a habit of following the car in front of you too closely. Unless drivers leave a safe distance between their car and the car ahead, and unless they remain constantly alert, a crash is almost inevitable should the leading car stop suddenly. Driving in the proper lane is of importance too. It is an easy matter to maintain a smooth flow of traffic on multiple lane highways when slow cars keep to the right and faster cars to the left. But the impatient driver, who hopes to save a few seconds by weaving in and out, endangers both lives and property. As he darts from one lane to another, he leaves behind him a trail of snarled traffic and ruffled tempers, even if he doesn't cause a serious accident. Keep in line. A good driver will never attempt to pass another car when approaching a curve, hill, or intersection, or in the face of oncoming traffic. The driver who takes a chance by passing when he can't see the road ahead, or when he doesn't have sufficient clear distance, is one of the greatest menaces to be found at the wheel today. Often he himself escapes unscathed, but is the real cause of accidents involving other drivers. Pass only when the road ahead is clear. Passing on the wrong side is another leading cause of accidents. Not only is it difficult for other drivers to see a car passing in this fashion, but the reckless driver has no warning should one of the other cars pull out of line to stop or make a turn. You can do a good turn for yourself and other drivers by observing 2 simple rules. When you plan to make either a left or right-hand turn, give the correct hand signal and stay in the proper lane. From this position, the turn may be made easily and safely. Impatience and danger, however, go hand in hand, and the driver who will cut across a line of traffic, depending on his greater speed to keep him out of danger, may cause serious trouble. Remember, use hand signals and keep in the proper lane. There's plenty of room on this road for all, just as long as everyone stays on his side of the line. But the driver whose chief fault is carelessness can cause a serious accident. Not thinking of the consequences, such a driver allows his car to swing wide, forcing the oncoming car off the road. Always stay on your own side of the center line. But the most inexcusable of all accidents are those caused by drivers who are under the influence of alcohol. Anyone who drives a car in this condition is a potential killer. Alcohol, even in small amounts, affects a driver's judgment and dulls his senses. Normally cautious drivers will take all sorts of needless chances after drinking. Furthermore, they are unable to react as quickly or as well in emergencies. Remember then, if you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink. Stop, look, and listen. Those words are a warning that every driver should heed. Yet despite this warning, More than 2,000 men, women, and children will meet death this year in crashes between automobiles and trains. More than 1/3 of these fatal accidents will occur at crossings guarded by gates, bells, flasher lights, or other protective devices. When you come to a railroad crossing, stop and look both ways before going on. For the driver who feels he can ignore that warning and who won't take time to be careful, there can be only one end, this. So, stop, look, and listen. The busy intersections of American streets and highways are breeding places of accidents. Even those crossings where the flow of traffic is controlled by stoplights are not immune. Seemingly, it should be a simple matter to obey the law, to stop on red, to go only after the lights have changed to green. But many drivers, impatient because of a few seconds delay, will start off as soon as they see the caution light. At the least, this means confusion and traffic tie-ups. At the worst, it means serious and costly accidents. Play it safe. Don't start until you see the green light. At an intersection that is not protected by stop signs or lights, the right-of-way is given to the car on the right, unless the other vehicle reaches the intersection first by an appreciable distance. Failure to grant this right-of-way is one of the primary causes of accidents. But it should be remembered that possession of the right-of-way does not relieve a driver of the necessity of being careful. The driver who fights for his right-of-way or takes it for granted may well be described by the old jingle which tells of the chap who one fine day was killed maintaining his right-of-way. He was right, dead right as he sped along, but he's just as dead as though he'd been wrong. But the worst killer on the highways today and the greatest single accident cause is speed. Speed beckons temptingly to the impatient and to the thrill-seeking and turns an innocent curve into a death trap. Speed, sinister and deadly, takes control of a car and hurls it into a wild, careening skid. Speed can make a simple blowout result in stark tragedy. And by increasing a car's stopping distance, speed causes many an accident that could have been avoided had the car been traveling at a reasonable rate. So stop saving seconds and losing lives. Slow down for safety. And remember, to be a good driver, a safe driver, you must use care, courtesy, and common sense. You must be ever alert, which means you must never, not even for a moment, relax your vigilance while at the wheel. Determine while you may to live and let live.
Tells the story, all right. Thousands and thousands of telephones to be made and all kinds of materials needed to make them. Copper, nickel, cotton, gold, silver. And from where? It's a tough job.
It ain't so tough.
That's what you think. Where did you come from?
Oh, I've been around. I know an easy way to get materials and make telephones.
You and what army?
Don't need an army. Just a little imagination. Watch. what's so funny? I got what I went after, didn't I? See? Here's copper, nickel, wax, lead, cotton, and all the others that you need.
Well, that certainly does require imagination. But how on earth are you going to make 433 telephone parts from those paper labels?
Still skeptical, eh? Okay, mister, help me clear the deck for action, and I'll show you.
Silly idea. But maybe I'd better humor this little fella. No telling what he'll do next.
Now I'll show him.
Well, so far so good. But your job is only half done. You still haven't got a telephone.
Mister, haven't you got any imagination? Must I do it all? Take over, Ringer. It's your move. Music, maestro, please.
Nice going, nice going. But, what about the chords?
The chords? Oh, yeah, the chords. Hey, Ringer, how about the chords? What did I tell you? It ain't so tough.
Yes, but your way of doing it won't help us. Imagine making telephones out of paper labels. Why, that's movie stuff.
You're not fooling, boss. That's the only place it is easy. In the movie. This is the end, folks.
This is a factory. This is a machine in the factory. This is the workman who tends the machine in the factory. And this is what the workman makes on his machine in the factory. This is a widget. A widget might be a radio, a refrigerator, a musical instrument, or a motor car. A widget, you know, is just a symbol for any manufactured product that people use. Inside the widget factory, there are lots of widget-making machines. And the skilled workmen who run these machines turn out the finest widgets you've ever seen. They're as modern, attractive, and efficient as careful design and fine craftsmanship can possibly make them. People will certainly want to buy these widgets because they are so fine and up-to-date. Here comes a man now with money to buy a widget. Here's a farmer. He needs a widget on his farm, and he's in a hurry to buy one. Here's your money, Mr. Widget Maker, and here's your widget, Mr. Farmer. That's all there is to it. The deal is completed. Everyone is happy. The widget maker has the money, and the farmer has his widget. And here comes another man who wants to buy a widget. This man is a coal miner, and he's bringing his money with him. He wants his new widget right away, too. These certainly must be good widgets, because there is such a widespread demand for them. Everyone seems to need a widget. For instance, this man is a steel manufacturer. Apparently, he can use a widget. And here's a lumberman, too. They all want widgets. Business is certainly good. These people are customers because they are willing to trade money for widgets. And all the customers take their widgets home to all parts of the country. Look at all that money the widget builder has taken in from the sale of his widgets. But now that the builder has the money, he has to pay out a large part of it to the workmen in the factory. That's all right, though, because these workmen need the money to buy food and clothing and to pay the rent. And maybe even a lot of them will want to use some of their money to buy widgets for themselves. But since so many widgets have been made and sold, the widget builder is running out of raw materials to make into more widgets. So out here where the raw materials come in, he buys cotton. This widget factory uses a lot of cotton. And what do you know? It's our farmer friend back again. The farmer wants to sell his cotton to the widget maker. Well, turnabout is fair play, and now the widget maker has more raw material. And the farmer has his money back again, in addition to the widget he already bought. The widget maker needs coal and steel and lumber too. So here are the coal miner and the steel man and the lumber man to sell them. Just a little while ago, these men were the widget maker's customers. But now the widget maker is their customer. He has money to trade for raw materials, a lot of different materials from a lot of places. So the widget maker is a buyer as well as a seller. Evidently in this widget business, somebody is always buying and selling. Everybody is somebody else's customer. The raw materials that the widget maker buys, the products of field and mine and woods and shop, go into one end of the machine, and out of the other end of the machine come nice, new, shiny widgets. And that's all there is to it when everything runs as smoothly as it does in this factory. With men and machines all at work, this factory becomes a beehive of activity, selling widgets, buying raw materials, making more widgets. A number one widgets that any customer would be glad to have. And while widgets are being bought and sold at one end of the factory, raw materials are being sold and bought at the other end. So, with everything humming along smoothly and everyone working for somebody else, money seems to travel round and round in this widget business. Maybe that's true in other lines of business too. Don't you think so?
Can escape this powerful network of law enforcement agencies. From the 4 divisions of police investigators, we present first the crime division, in which particularly well-trained men are assigned to specialize in uncovering crimes of larceny, auto theft, checks for theft, as it is commonly called. Generally, thefts are committed by amateurs and are difficult to trace unless the owners refrain from destroying possible evidence and act promptly to call police. Professional thieves eventually are caught, frequently trapped because of their very consistent operations. As this motion picture acquaints you with the various police departments, remember that each department is ready to help you at all times. As the chart will show, crimes of larceny are lower in St. Paul than is usual in the average large American city, but a better record certainly is possible, such as the sharp reduction in automobile thefts, accomplished because of public indignation against car thieves. The passing of laws which make interstate transportation of stolen cars a federal offense and the introduction of two-way radio and fast statewide police communication have cut in half the number of stolen cars. St. Paul's experience compares very favorably with the average of other cities. More than $6,700 of stolen merchandise was located in pawn shops in 1940 and returned to the rightful owners. Supervision of pawn shops is an important function of the group of detectives especially trained for the work. When one human being takes the life of another, either intentionally or through inexcusable carelessness, in such crimes as murder or manslaughter while driving under the influence of liquor or dope, the homicide squad undertakes the solution of the crime and the arrest of the criminals. Happily, such occurrences are rare in St. Paul, and in recent years, practically all killings of this nature have been solved and the killers punished. Burglary is forceful entrance with intent to rob or damage property. Most crimes of this nature can be prevented if property owners will provide good locks, strong doors, and locked windows. Families who leave their homes unoccupied during absences from the city should notify police, who will inspect the home daily. In 1940, of 840 unoccupied homes where police were notified in advance, not one was burglarized. Policewomen always interview girls or women who have been molested by sex perverts. The services of policewomen are very helpful after occasions of this nature, and their careful investigations help in locating and arresting the offenders. Don't hesitate to call police when mashers force their attentions. Prompt action may prevent tragic consequences. We present next the Morals Division of Police Investigators, who battle against commercial vice, the foundation of organized crime. In commercial, by cooperating gambling, happy-go-lucky citizens, otherwise well-respected, with the cards stacked against them, in games of chance sacrifice a large percentage of their money, which then goes to line the pockets of gangsters and to finance their rackets. The Moral Squad enforces the laws against gambling, supervises places licensed to sell liquor, and constantly raids disorderly houses which appear from time to time. These places are uprooted as fast as they become known, whether they are just small dives or elaborate establishments. And with national agencies, the constant drive against dope peddlers and narcotic addicts is maintained. Also, a special division of the Morals Squad uncovers the sale of offensive magazines and prosecutes the distributors of sensational publications. The 4th Detective Division handles juvenile delinquency, and several policewomen and counselors assist in this important crime. Prevention begins with character training in the home. Rare is the criminal who county attorney and his staff, working with police detectives, prepare cases for court trial. And in 1940, as a result of their detailed preparation, 1,178 out of 1,186 court cases resulted in conviction of the defendants. The grand jury scrutinizes the operation of police to ensure fair treatment of those arrested, and each defendant has the constitutional right of trial by a petty jury, supervised by district and municipal judges elected by the citizens.